my new federal subpoena right here. And this time there's no gag order on it. And it deals with the case of that moron on Infowars.com. Of course, he and others said the stuff a bunch of other places, but they don't care about that. So where I have to go to trial in Virginia to testify, which is just absolute crap. That's it. We have to go to a registration system on the comments on Infowars and Prison Planet because it just goes on and on. And I knew it when it was happening that the first FBI agent, Pham, was his last name. I can go pull all the stuff. In fact, call Tim in here. He knows Pham's first name. Agent Pham kept calling people randomly in the office, asking questions about my business, asking questions about me. And I'm like, what is it you don't need to understand, FBI? It's a comment. We removed it. A week later, you call up with a subpoena. And the FBI is, well, why did you remove it? Well, because I'm not going to have a cop's home number and name on the web and where his family lives with some stupid pothead, it turns out, sitting in his mommy's basement like an idiot from his own computer with his own IP address, threatening the policeman's life that shot the dart guy in the back. And I knew it was either they wanted me as a witness with their snooping or they're trying to somehow tie me in with this. Because I had the FBI ask me, you don't agree with that, do you? And I went ahead and talked to him because there's no point in paying $5,000 to have some meeting with a lawyer, thousands of dollars. But this is the kind of crap that I deal with and the type of stuff that goes on. I mean, you can go to YouTube right now and find hundreds of comments in the last hour naming police, naming people, saying go after them. Nothing happens. I've talked to people at YouTube. They just ignore the subpoenas. They're such a big corporation, and the feds just leave them alone. This is just a way to harass me. And I'm not saying that the Austin cop that was with the FBI, that these guys are here to harass me. And they were definitely playing the good cop. Hey, we can get a beer sometime. Yeah, I bet. I told them you ought to investigate DynCorp and Halliburton with the child kidnapping rings. In fact, pull up, if you Google or do a YouTube, DynCorp child kidnapping congressional hearing, and the congresswoman asked Rumsfeld about it, and he says, yeah, well, they got in the penalty box for doing that. This is kidnapping children en masse to take them to Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Israel, other places. And it's like, that's not my department. But see, there's all these FBI agents and people for some moron, pothead, who is an idiot. But, see, the threats can be on MySpace. The threats can be on YouTube. They can be everywhere. It's my website, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com. I have the White House, open surrogates, George Soros, newspapers, magazines, every day attacking me now. CNN went after me. Ed Schultz went after me on MSNBC this week. Or whatever his name is, something Schultz, big pumpkin head guy. What? No, not Shepard Smith. Shepard Smith hadn't gone after me. I don't recognize the idiots on CNN. The clip's up on Infowars.com. I do recognize former Air America guy. Got like kind of curly, short, red hair. Looks like his head's twice the size of mine, that's pretty big. I got somewhat of a pumpkin head. And I'm just so sick of it. Did you find the clip? It's easy to find. Oh, we're pulling it up. I want to go out to break with this, and then I want to we got Bob Chapman coming up. We're just going to take calls, 1-800-259-9231, 1-800-259-9231. Hey, I want to thank folks that showed up at the office. Very few people know where my office is because I can't have fans and supporters banging on the door all day demanding to meet with me because I got work to do. But the few people that have been over here with guests and folks were starting to show up in the parking lot 10 minutes after I made the announcement that the FBI was here. Oh, man. Meanwhile, I'm the big criminal that has to be dealt with. I was telling these cops, hey, I got an eco-science textbook about how they want to drug the water supply and sterilize the population and take everyone's children at birth, and IEDs to forcibly sterilize everybody. I said, do you want to see that? No, we don't want to see that. No, you don't want to know about that. I said, they're putting stuff in the water to drug us, pal. And they said, no, we have no doubt you're right about that. Well, I mean, why are we not on the same team? Because it's your job. Let me tell you something. Is Tim here? I just want Fam's first name. Oh, it's Dan Pham? Ben Pham. I can barely hear you when you go over the microphone. Ben Pham. FBI agent Ben Pham was asking me everything but my blood type. And I was like, this has nothing to do. A guy commented on the page. We took it down. You called up and told me to put it back up. And I go, I'm not going to let you set me up, pal. I'm not going to post the cop's name and phone number and somebody saying, kill him. And you know what? That is immoral that I was told to do that. Or maybe Pham just is stupid. I don't know. But let me just explain something here. I'm not going to do that. Because he would have said, I never told you that. I never told you to put that up. You made the threat when you put it back up. I have no doubt they'd like to get me for something, and they've been through all my taxes, all my files, everything, and they've got these guys who are just errand boys over here snooping on me. And I'm tired of it. I'm going to continue my work, and if you guys put me in prison on some set-up baloney, people are only going to spread the word that much more. What, did the computers crash in there? I want to buy new computers at work. I mean, they're trying to pull up the video. Here, I'll do it on my little computer and play the audio from here. We have it. Go ahead and play the clip. This is what the FBI needs to be investigating. Instead, they got a big office right downtown Austin. I walked up and told cops out front at one night, I said, you know, they run child kidnapping rings. And the cops just laughed at me and said, I work in there some. It's real funny, isn't it? Yeah, well, it'll be funny when you shoot your kid up with that vaccine and their hair falls out when they're 18 and they die. Because you didn't listen to me and you laughed at me. I know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and play the clip.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I watched President Bush deliver a moving speech at the United Nations in September 2003, in which he mentioned the crisis of the sex trade. The president called for the punishment of those involved in this horrible business. But at the very moment of that speech, DynCorp was exposed for having been involved in the buying and selling of young women and children. While all of this was going on, DynCorp kept the Pentagon contract to administer the smallpox and anthrax vaccines and is now working on a plague vaccine through the Joint Vaccine Acquisition Program. Mr. Secretary, is it policy of the U.S. government to reward companies that traffic in women and little girls? That's my first question. My second question, Mr. Secretary, according to the Comptroller General of the United States, there are serious financial management problems at the Pentagon, to which Mr. Cooper alluded. Fiscal year 1999, $2.3 trillion missing. Fiscal year 2000, $1.1 trillion missing. And DOD is the #1 reason why the government can't balance its checkbook. The Pentagon has claimed year after year that the reason it can't account for the money is because its computers don't communicate with each other. My second question, Mr. Secretary, is who has the contracts today to make those systems communicate with each other? How long have they had those contracts? And how much have the taxpayers paid for them? Finally, Mr. Secretary, after the last hearing, I thought that my office was promised a written response to my question regarding the 4 war games on September 11th. I have not yet received that response, but would like for you to respond to the questions that I've put to you today, and then I do expect the written response to my previous question, hopefully by the end of the week.
Thank you, Representative. First, The answer to your first question is no, absolutely not. The policy of the United States government is clear, unambiguous, and opposed to the activities that you described. The second question.
Well, how do you explain the fact that DynCorp and its successor companies have received and continue to receive government contracts?